Keith.
Hey, good.
Congratulations on the win at the weekend. I'll start by asking, how is everyone? Is everyone fit and healthy, we hope?
Yeah, a couple of knocks and bruises. Invariably, you get that from a game like we had at the weekend. So a couple of little bits and bobs we'll have to decide on, I suppose. But in the main, we're in a good place.
Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
Tough game coming up tomorrow at the Emirates, of course. Arsenal have been having a really good run of form this season. What have you made of their form this season?
Obviously very impressive. A coach that respects every phase of the game. And that's been pretty evident as the team has grown over the number of years that he's been in charge. Really, really impressive how they set up their team, the edge that they play with, and obviously a lot of really, really talented individuals. So they're clearly having a very good season.
Of course, they're top of the table, but would you say that this is the most difficult challenge that your team will face so far this season?
Yeah, I think when you look at it in those terms, it's pretty obvious it's going to be a difficult task. I think it's also a task that we need to embrace. I think we're in a really good place as a team. Our confidence should be at a place where we're confident of going to a place like that and absolutely competing to win the game, and that's where I want us to be, and that's where I feel we will be.
One area that Arsenal have been praised a lot for this season, of course, is in their set-piece success. You, of course, are the master of set-pieces. Is that an area where perhaps you're looking to see where the game might be won or lost tomorrow, to maybe minimise the number of set-pieces you give away?
Yeah, I think there will always be a lot made of that. The set-piece battle, invariably, two teams that are pretty good at that aspect of the game. Most games, set pieces play a part, I would say, to different levels. I think this will be a game where it plays a really big part, and we hope we can come out the right side of that.
I have to give a word to Igor Thiago, of course, who broke Ivan Toney's record, becoming the fastest Brentford player to reach double-figure goals. Incredible figures from him. Just how good is he, and what's he like to work with?
Well, he's a dream to work with as a person. His hunger and appetite to get better consistently is really impressive. He's having a magnificent season. It doesn't take a genius to see that. The numbers will tell you that. The performances that he produces consistently well, how well he's integrated into the way that we're playing and the way he's playing with certain individuals within that team. He's making a real impact, obviously, on how we're playing, and he's proved to be a big player for us.
And finally, you're about to take charge of your 20th game in all competitions. You're sitting in the top half of the Premier League table. Do you ever get the chance to sit back and kind of reflect on how proud you are of what the team and what you have achieved so far this season?
Thanks for telling me that. I didn't realise it was my 20th. But no, not really. The game comes around quick enough. We enjoy it, and I made a point of saying that to the players, that you should enjoy the wins because they are important, they're hard earned. It was on Saturday, and they are in general. But then you're quickly onto the next game, especially when it's a midweek game. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night's game. Thank you.
Jake.
You just mentioned that the confidence in the group is very high, and I remember when I was here a couple of months ago, and you've been looking for more wins at that point. You said it can change in your favour very quickly. Can it also change the other way, potentially now going forward, just as quickly? Yeah,
I think that's sport, and that's especially top-level sport, I would say. The way a game can go, performances, results, they tend to tie in together, I think, over a period of time. I think we need to be very understanding of what we're going into tomorrow night, which will be a very difficult game, clearly, but I do feel we should, and we've earned the right to go in with a level of confidence, knowing that it's going to be a difficult task, but if we do what we can do very well, I think we can cause them a lot of problems. But you are right, that the confidence comes and goes. I think you can see it as a team overall. In certain individuals it'll be higher than others naturally. I think confidence is a major part of football, and you've got to earn that, really. You've got to earn not the right to be confident, but as a player you got to do things consistently well, and I think that can grow, and I think the team performances can certainly help that if you're striving to become more confident than your best self.
You said also Mikel Arteta respects every aspect of the game. Is that how you see yourself, perhaps as a coach, with similar philosophies?
I certainly respect every phase of the game, yeah, and try and pay attention to every aspect of it. Some weeks you can't get as much in as you would like, naturally, because of the time on the grass and the time constraints, and you have to focus and prioritise certain areas of each particular game. But I do feel that he is a coach that isn't just obsessed with what they do with the ball. Very, very good without the ball. Set pieces obviously has been a huge part of their culture over the last few seasons. So, yeah, a lot of admiration for the way he sets his team up.
Obviously, everybody knows they don't concede many, particularly at home. No doubt, if you haven't already, you will be looking at the best ways to try and disrupt that.
Yeah, tough nut to crack for sure. Don't concede too many. Don't concede too many opportunities. So again, they're very hard earned in terms of what the opposition have had to do to expose them at certain stages. But we're a team that quite fancies ourselves in terms of how we can affect the opposition and make it a little bit uncomfortable for them at times, and that's what we'll be hoping to do tomorrow night.
Most of your points have come at home so far this season. In order to try and fix away form, if you like, is there anything different you would do than, say, if your home form was suffering, or would it just be do better and the same processes?
Yeah, I think the processes and the way you work have to remain consistent. Going into certain games and going into a congested period of the season, you'll naturally look at different ways of playing against the different opposition and what they pose. But I am a firm believer in trying to be consistent about how we work, why we are doing things, what's brought us success, and obviously how we can progress things and tweak things as we go.
And just lastly, your predecessor, when he was sat here, often used to say, in terms of season, if you asked him about points during the season, points in the table, I should say, during the season, he'd always say, well, when we get to 30, that's when I'm happy, because it basically means that we've avoided relegation. That was always the first kind of aim. Is that sort of the way you saw it when you took the job, and even now?
No, not really. I haven't looked at a points target, a points tally, X amount of games. I'm very much focused on the next one and the bits that go on in between, and I think that can quickly get ahead of you. I was very forthright with that going into the Burnley game last week with the players and the staff, that I didn't want any talk of Arsenal and what was going on after Burnley. Burnley was a big game for us. We knew that, and everybody had to feel that. So no, I don't tend to put points tallies on it, but the sooner we do get to 30, the better.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Shay.
Anyone else for yes, Jeff?
Hi Keith.
Hey.
Arsenal have just beat Tottenham and Bayern Munich and drawn with Chelsea in the space of a week, and they're obviously top of the league. Do you think that they are clearly the best team in Europe?
I don't watch all European leagues. I wouldn't be able to give you a qualified opinion on that. I've watched them a lot since the Burnley game has finished, and I can tell you they're a very good team. Outstanding individuals, the way they're set up without the ball, like I've just touched on, and it's going to be a really difficult game for us. But yeah, watch the Bayern Munich game, and obviously Bayern Munich are a pretty good side, and they deservedly won that game.
And you spoke about obviously the amount of goals they've conceded. A lot of those games they were with Gabriel and Saliba. They're going to be without both of those centre backs against your side. Is that a position of the pitch that you're looking to potentially exploit, that new partnership with Hincapi and Mosquera?
I think they did particularly well on Sunday against Chelsea. There are obviously two players that have been recruited that they feel are going to be big players for them, and I thought they slotted in really well. The two players you mentioned, obviously Gabriel and Saliba, have been a mainstay, haven't they, for a good couple of years now. So and a very, very good partnership. But we'll see what their team brings tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Keith.
Hey.
I wanted to talk about Dango Ouattara and Frank Onyeka. Obviously, they're going to AFCON later this month. How are you as a side prepared for that, for their loss, basically?
Yeah, I think for them, obviously, and I say this all the time to the players when they go and represent their countries, it's an absolute privilege. Should be very proud to do it, and I know they will be. Obviously, it's not ideal that it's in season, but it is what it is. I certainly can't affect that. It will be very much what I've said all season, I suppose, around the squad that we have and the utilisation of that. So yeah, we wish them well when they go. Exactly when they go, I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, we'll clearly miss them.
And obviously, Dango Ouattara has been in great form recently. Losing him, how does it affect the confidence in the group?
I don't know. He isn't gone yet. So we'll see. But like I said, we've got a squad. We've got options to play in that area of the pitch. Dango's really settled into life here well. I think I felt that pretty soon from when he arrived here. The way he plays the game, the type of character he is. I felt after meeting him he would slot in seamlessly, and I think he's grown really in confidence in how we're playing and his role within that team. And like I said, he will be a miss, but we've got a squad to deal with issues like that, like when we get injuries or suspensions.
And then finally, you mentioned those replacements. Reece Nelson, he hasn't broken into the side fully yet since he's arrived. How eager is he to make an impression? Yeah,
very eager. He arrived, I suppose, not having had too much of a pre-season because it was slightly disrupted. So he was playing catch-up a little bit, picked up a little nick where he missed 10 days, 2 weeks of training. So that, again, set him back. And then you got to look at how good some of the players in his position have been performing. So he's had to be patient. But I think fans and people have seen the impact that he is capable of. I thought on Saturday when him and Rico came on the left side, they added something to us in that game and made a big impact, and no more so than the second and third goals when they both played a part.